Sound check, please.
Yo.
Good. Came up in the yellow.
Hello?
Good.
Hello?
Yeah, Matt's just yellow, so we might just move the table smidge this way in a second. That's fine. Give me 1 second. So this is the test campaign and session for Red Ink, the 20+6 game of cosmic horror on a deadline. Did you ever wonder why people in Call of Cthulhu never leave the mission? Not just go off to the country in Iowa to grow corn. Well, now we have a definite reason. You are hired and paid to do this, and because your careers are all in the toilet, it's this or nothing. It's amazing how a mortgage motivates people.
It's either this or you end up being
I speak from personal experience on that one.
It's either this or you end up as a security guard at a night shift at the museum. And that doesn't end well either for you.
The game does have a theme song, which I'll put in the background to play while we were talking. Everybody knows Dirty Laundry by Don Henley?
No.
Came across several covers of it. The one that's actually for the game is the one by Lisa Marie Presley, who I thought actually has experience with having to deal with paparazzis and stuff, so kind of appropriate. I did find a bluegrass version, which since we're going to be playing in the Cumberland Gap area, I was like, yeah, I should probably do that. Yeah, all right. Okay. So the characters have all, by hook or by crook, gotten involved into the media business, and you work for a paper known as the End Times. Now, the End Times still refers to itself as a paper because that was the start of its history. The End Times was founded by a very religious guy by the name of Jerome Rhine, who at the end of the Civil War, he was a general of the Union Army, decided he wanted to go into the news business. It has a distinct claim to fame that no other news agency in the entire world has. The End Times has never had to print a retraction. That's unheard of. Okay? Which automatically takes us to the realm of fantasy for the game. Because there's absolutely no way that would ever happen. But the End Times is a claim to fame, but it's never had to print a retraction. Now the reasons for this are varied. One of them is at the end of most of the stories, there's a little blurb to keep us out of legal trouble that reads, for entertainment purposes only. But the truth is actually the editors at the Times, which people normally refer to affectionately as the Indy, the editors at the Indy are fanatical about you being able to perform this thing called the Indy method, which works like this. First you cite what the facts are. Then you cite what witnesses say. Then you cite your opinion and conclusions. You must do that in order to get an article published. The End Times has branched out into social media. It has a Facebook page. It has YouTube channels. It has bloggers it pays to go across the world. And through a combination of using social media, true investigative journalism, and a lot of budget crunching, it manages to stay competitive in the modern world where most newspapers and news agencies are scrambling and dying. Which is why the New York Times, the great gray lady, has a particular thing for all your characters and your business. They detest you. Game is based in New York, right? Mm-hmm. Not only do they view you as somehow besmirching the fine name of journalists everywhere. Bullshit! Bullshit! They view you as essentially being a glorified gossip rag. And there's the ignition of, they've had to print retractions. They've had scandals. We've never had a scandal. They've had scandals. They've been caught paying people for news. We haven't. Recently. Yeah. So, yeah, New York Times has been caught a couple times paying people for stories.
Oh, nice.
Listening to story about the plagiarism cases between them and some of their editors, or the news articles they ran off the AP when the AP was caught faking news in Israel, and the Times didn't double check it. Oh yeah.
The Times doesn't double check a lot of stories that they politically agree with. So
the Great Gray Lady in particular has it out for your establishment and your reporters. Expect animosity when you meet them. The other two rival papers are the New York Post, which hates you because you're basically printed the same way they are. So people sometimes confuse in this fictional world the Indy with the Post. And the Post really doesn't like that because they consider themselves a serious newspaper and you a tabloid. And the Wall Street Journal.
You mean the Post actually considers itself a legitimate newspaper?
The Wall Street Journal's personal gripe with the Indy is as follows. About 4 years ago, the Indy gave a column to an economist that they vilified, and he turned out to be right multiple times. He's a fictional character I made up for the game. He still writes for the End Times. So, yeah, you guys have enemies in the media. Be prepared. Television companies like NBC, CBS, and CNN tend to ignore you. They like, you know, oh, that's cute. You're working your way up to being a real reporter. That's their general attitude. But this is what you've experienced the time you worked for the Times. Now, the way this works is...
This for Post is not personal.
Yeah.
The Post.
The Post took it personally. What can I say?
I have to like the Post because, you know, they're fun to read.
About an hour and a half into a late Friday morning, as everyone's starting to make plans what they're going to do for the weekend and what events they're going to cover, the paparazzi you guys deal with are bringing in celebrity pictures, freelancers are trying to score articles, all the usual things goes on in a tabloid newsroom. You get tapped on the shoulder by this gentleman, and you recognize him as what the Times calls a red letter editor. Now, the Times uses 2 levels of editors. Go ahead and pass that around. Black letter editors are guys who do the normal everyday stories. Red letters are the guys who get interesting stories. Typically, an interesting story is something that's like possibly a criminal case or something weird, right? And by weird, I mean like a Bigfoot chase or UFO sighting. Those count as black letter. Red letters are things like when the Indy Times broke the case about a flesh-eating virus that no one would believe but them. So when you get tapped on the shoulder by this guy, come to my office, please. You all have high expectations. And the gentleman's name is Sebastian Thomas. Don't go through all that stuff. We need to make that stuff last.
I'm gonna put this in the fridge.
Go ahead.
You want to trace it?
She's experimenting with some
It's
drinks.
2 parts pin, 1 part stops.
Oh, that's good. He wants some now.
Take a break while we're experimenting with the new drink. Okay, so Sebastian Thomas calls you into his office. In the office, you characters actually have not met yet. This is the first time you all have ever met. You've seen one guy already there. He's a blonde-haired, dark green-dyed man. You've seen him around the office, and you recognize him by his voice. He has a faint Spanish accent, and just about every woman and some of the men in the office swoon when this guy walks by. You've occasionally heard people call him John, but you're pretty sure his actual name is Juan. You're not quite sure exactly what's going on. Some people call him JM. But he is kind of a smooth, somewhat lecherous guy, and everybody knows it. He also has like perfectly gelled hair. He is wearing like an expensive suit that's immaculately tailored. He is just dressed to the nines. He looks good, right? And you, when you meet him, actually, he gives you a smile. You need to make a willpower plus resolve roll.
Billy,
Yes.
can I just make my character lesbian?
Then you'll be out safe from Matt's character. What's your willpower?
5.
All right, so you're rolling in column 5. Do you have a resolve skill?
Dude, you got a very good will score there. You should be alright.
Yeah, I do. I've got a total of 7 on mine for that.
All right, so we're rolling on column 7. He, however, is extremely charming, and he has the attractive advantage, so that brings it down by 2. You're back on column 5.
Okay.
Roll a d20 on column 5. Let's see what you get.
I got a
Partial.
partial, whatever.
So he smiles at you, and your character actually feels her heart flutter a little bit, and she has to admit to herself, oh yeah,
He's nice.
he looks really good. And he says to you, hola, señora Benita.
Oh shit.
And I need you to roll again.
My character does speak Spanish, so she knows what he said.
Hello, pretty lady. As far as physically this guy looks like, since I can't draw extremely well, picture Antonio Banderas if he was blonde and green-eyed.
And younger?
Yeah, this is like Antonio Banderas when he's like 25.
I got a hero.
So please
I
roll.
got a heroic success.
But you had a partial before, so I want to bring you down 1 DOS. DOS, by the way,
actually
means
pretty
degree of
close.
success. So you have success. You don't have to flirt back if you don't want to, but you do feel a little charmed. It was, you know,
He's
a
charming.
deep baritone rich.
Okay, this is pretty close because the hair length is right.
Okay.
So she just goes, yo.
Who looks like that?
Yo.
Rachel.
Wow. She's a lesbian? That sucks.
All right. The next person to sit down is describe your character for me.
Ariadne.
No, not your character name. They haven't actually been informed. Just describe what she looks like.
Figured she's like a Milano.
A mulatto, you mean?
Whatever that. She's half black, half white, so she's got her hair's kind of got that curly kind of texture that you see a lot of black people have, and she has kind of that kind of mocha.
That came out awkward, not at all.
Mocha kind of skin tone. It's just brown hair, brown eyes.
I don't even know if mulatto is acceptable anymore to say.
It's an official term. They use it in Louisiana all the time.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people use it.
Actually, Louisiana still occasionally use the offensive term quadroon.
People I work with that would argue with that, but
Yeah, that's
I defer to the GM.
Whatever. She's half black, half white. She's an Oreo, okay?
Biracial,
That way.
right?
Biracial.
He says to you in Spanish, "You are the most charming negrita I have met in a long time." Negrita is actually a compliment in Hispanic and Spanish cultures.
I work with a bunch of Spaniards.
It means essentially a very sexy black lady.
A bunch of Mexicans.
Okay.
Actually, one of them is mom is from Spain.
Okay, so we have a biracial girl. We've got someone who's obviously from somewhere in Europe. You
What do you just?
describe your character.
He's African, specifically from Fangola. Got blue eyes, white hair, for a very specific reason we'll get into another time. He's a male. He's 60 years old. He's about 6 foot even, weighs 175 pounds. Medium build.
That's interesting. I didn't expect you to play an elderly character.
I'm trying to go out of type for myself.
That's good. All right. And as I was telling Matthew at the session, the team actually is simple. They'd want a diverse team because if the target interview won't speak to one person, there's a chance that might speak to another they feel is more like them or safer. That's why when you see a news team, the news team tends to have this broad
cool
outlet. You?
All right, the name's Rachel Janine Taylor. She's from Alabama. She is 5'10", 145 pounds, green eyes, red hair, athletic build.
Caucasian, right?
Caucasian.
It has a slight southern accent?
Yeah.
All right.
I just wrote chick from that 70s show. That's all I need to know.
So,
Actually, yeah, I picked somebody who'd be easy to recognize.
Mr. Thomas sits you all down. He's like, "Thank you all for coming in and seeing me. We have a bit of a situation, and I'm going to warn you up front. It's not the normal kind of assignment we would assign to reporters and field crew that are new to the organization as yourself. You all have worked for time for like less than a year. I would encourage you to take this assignment very seriously and also with extreme care. You should know you will not be the first team that's been dispatched this. We are missing 3 reporters on an assignment we sent them to.
Ew.
So you may be about to go into something dangerous. If that bothers you, I won't hold it against you if you leave right now."
This is her girlfriend.
Do we know him?
Yes.
Well, everybody dies at some point.
But you will actually know these characters, but none of you are where they're missing right now because he hasn't got that far in the briefing. But I just told you that you're missing people.
Right.
See, you have found a lesbian hot.
Okay.
So Ari goes, well, everybody dies at some point.
All right. Mr.
She
Colo.
tell her to smoke a pipe?
Yep.
Yes, she does.
Awesome.
Mr. Colo, would you please lock the door and pull the blinds?
And make sure to put the
And
vibrator
he goes,
on me.
and not to make you paranoid, but he turns on a white noise generator.
Oh, and make sure you...
Now, you're inside your own office building, and he's taking security measures to make sure you're not being eavesdropped on.
Oh, and make sure to put the vibration monitor on the windows so nobody can use a laser.
You're inside a building. There are no windows outside. This is an interior office.
Oh, okay. Well, you said close the blinds.
He then opens the door, and out steps the CEO of the company, Marcus Rhine.
Damn.
I thought he said to close the blinds.
Does he seriously have
Yeah,
like
he's
a
got
long...
windows into the office.
Yeah, you want to
Does he seriously have a long beard that's got
Yes.
the wrap on it?
Yes, he looks a bit like a German dwarf.
Oh, I spelled his last name right. Nice.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And you all know Mr. Rhine because, well, you work for him. You've seen pictures of him. You never actually met him.
Uh-oh.
Huh.
He walks in, he sits down, he goes,
We're all going to die.
"Thank you for seeing us. This is extremely serious, and there is a lot that we need to discuss." Now, for this game, we're going to have a thing called the clue board. Just like you've seen in bad movies, they start putting pictures and stuff up on a wall. As this is a game about mysteries, I would encourage you to bring some loose leaf paper and take notes, because the GM will not do it for you.
Can you warn me ahead of time?
Which is why the GM is going to give you spare paper now.
I got my own, thank you.
That just disappeared under
I
the
had
couch.
my own.
I have paper.
Thank you.
Okay. And to give you an idea of how complicated a modern game is, this is the outline. This 20 pages is the outline for the adventure. These games are work. The other reason why they're going to be off game. Yeah. All right. So, where did I put? Here they are.
Squeaky, 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 squeaky.
So you said you're imagining these kinds of sessions when they're going at their normal pace to be about maybe 2 sessions as the crow flies, or?
2 to 3 sessions tops.
Okay.
And they're going to be our off game. We do them in between other adventures.
Right.
All right. So last week we dispatched a reporting team to a town called Kellingsboro, Kentucky. Kellingsboro, Kentucky sits in the foot of Mount Ryan McKinley. It is just 20 miles from the westernmost edge of the Cumberland Gap going into Virginia. It is about 30 miles north of Tennessee. It sits smack dab in the southern edge of the Daniel Boone National Forest. It is a population of 3,000 and falling, and is hit upon hard times. The reason why we sent a team of reporters there is that in the past 18 months, 4 infants and 2 teenagers have gone missing, and the authorities stopped investigating in week 2.
Hold on here. Repeat that last bit.
Certainly. 4 infants, 2 teenagers missing in the last 18 months, and the authorities stopped investigating in week 2. The local town sheriff is doing what he can with his resources, but as you know, most kidnappings or abductions or missing persons cases get bumped up to the FBI. The FBI sent 2 agents in the first week. They left after 3 days of being there, and the FBI sent no one back in 18 months, and no one can explain why. When we called the FBI about our missing team, we were told politely, we will get around to it. Since our team are reporters, they basically don't assume it's a priority. They're, after all, probably chasing a story. And the area that you're talking about, if you find it's 2010, there are still some problems with cell phone reception and other forms of communication because of the mountains.
Oh, I don't care what those advertisements say, there still is up there.
The 3 people missing are as follows. This is the team that we sent. Emma Noor, Freddie Mercurial, and Greg Lance. Freddie was the technical agent. Lance was their PPO, personal protection officer. And Emma Noor was the reporter.
How do you spell that last name?
Their pictures are coming around.
You sent a Muslim up to freaking Appalachia?
She wasn't wearing her job when she went. She's just, that's her, official photo.
Well, so if we actually did our reading assignment, we would know these people already.
Yes.
I'm like, these people, I know who all these people are. I read the whole thing.
Yes.
Well,
So
I
they were
tried
there
to
for
read
their
it.
own reasons. Now we're going there to find them.
Yes.
I tried to read it.
Nice.
Could not
So
read it.
Noor was in charge of the team. She has not reported in. We have no idea what's going on. We've tried to track the cell phones. Nothing.
Nothing.
We've called the local sheriff. He says he's already looking into it. He will get back to us as soon as he can. The local sheriff is a gentleman by the name of...
What was the status of those 2 FBI agents again?
Oh, they showed up and went home 3 days later.
Okay.
John Connolly.
Damn it.
Give me a sec, James.
All right, slow. Say again.
Sheriff's local name is John Connolly. This is everything else that we know. So in the past 18 months, the missing are as follows. The infants are Sina Ryan, Caitlin Monroe, Joshua Samaritan, and Michael Ezekiel.
I need to write all those names down, just while you're asking.
I can refer back to it if you like, but eventually, yes, you're all going to have to start writing down notes and stuff like that.
I am trying to write them, I just can't write that
I
down.
go
It
slowly.
didn't take me forever.
I can go slowly.
So the infants are who?
Sina Ryan, Seena, Ryan. Caitlin Monroe.
How is Caitlin spelled?
Kaitlyn. You have a lot of Irish and Scots-Irish up in this area, so there's a lot of Gaelic spellings. Joshua Samaritan. And Michael Ezekiel.
Michael Ezekiel.
Michael Ezekiel.
And the 2 teens.
The first teen is a girl by the name of Shannon Keers, Keers, who had a very Keers,
Okay.
who had a very active social media profile, listed as #MountainChickWithTits.
Do I have to write that part down?
No, I'm sure we're all going to remember that part. And her boyfriend, Hector Grant.
We didn't do hashtags back in the teens. Early teens yet.
Okay, well, then she has a MySpace page, Mountain Chick with Tits.
Mm-hmm.
I need to pee.
Go ahead. I'll wait till you get back.
This is when the Trail of Tears happened. About 1/8 of the population on the Trail of Tears was black slaves.
Okay. In addition to the people missing in 18 months, there are the following things we know. There have been no bodies discovered.
Okay.
No signs of any forced entry at any of the sites where they were abducted from. There are no suspects for abduction, but 2 of the mothers are being treated for postpartum depression, and one of the fathers, believe it was Ezekiel, has been committed to an institution.
Hold on, can you repeat that? No bodies,
Sure.
no forced
No
entry?
bodies, no forced entry. You know what I'll do the next one? I'll actually come up with a handout too that has all the basic information on it, so you don't have to write all down the basic information next time. Okay. Again, this is the test that we're shaking things down. No bodies, no forced entry, no suspects.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the mothers are being treated for PPD, postpartum depression. And one of the fathers has been institutionalized. He apparently kept trying to cut off his own ears. The story has only been covered by one major news outlet. NBC sent a news crew that was in the local area from Tennessee during the first abduction. They did a 30-second spot, and that's all the major media has covered on this story. Now, since we are a tabloid, we also keep tabs on the weird web and the dark web, what people say on there. The weird web, which is the term they use for people like into the paranormal and conspiracy theories. They're not necessarily dark web users, but they're like on that borderline. The Alex Jones crowd. The weird web is reporting that in one instance, a mother thought she saw shadow men looking down on her in her room. This is one of the same women, however, is being treated for postpartum depression. And the teen that's missing, Shannon Keers, claims that the area actually has a long history of people disappearing, but none of it's on the official records. There's also apparently a high rate of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, in the area, in its past history. And by its past history, I mean like 30, 40 years ago, right? There's all stuff the area was known for 30, 40 years ago, that now it's, now maybe starting again, no one knows why, no one knows how, that kind of thing. This area of the U.S., just so the characters know, is famous for the following. Moonshining is famous in this area. This is where bootleggers used to brew their stills and then go down to Tennessee or other places through the Cumberland Gap. Truffle hunting happens in these woods. So does ginseng finding. American ginseng grows wild, and it is buku money. There's actually right now a reality show about it, and they've actually occasionally caught a couple people shooting at each other, wandering the woods trying to find these ginseng roots.
It's also making the plant
Almost extinct.
Almost extinct.
Yeah. And the last thing you need to know is that
So for weird question, the American ginseng, can't they just grow that in a greenhouse, or does it have
everything
to
grows in captivity well.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't do
interesting.
well.
It's like animals that don't breed in captivity. Some things require a certain environment, certain tolerances.
Huh, that's interesting.
They haven't been able to reproduce the tolerances needed.
And the greatest wilderness threat you're likely to encounter black bears, so take bear mace if you're out in the woods. This area's got lots of black bears in it.
Yeah, that's the reason.
You don't really have to worry about wolves or coyotes, but black bears are the big ones, black bears and foxes.
And hogs.
Actually, that area I was reading, hogs really aren't the issue, but wild dogs can be.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs that have gone feral. The last part they put on there is that Shannon Keir's website, mentioning all the things that have happened, goes into a local legend that apparently the town, Kellingsborough, had all the evil driven out of it St. Patrick style when a local preacher man 100 years ago came through and taught the local churches how to snake handle. Now, does anybody other than me know what snake handling is?
Mm-hmm.
Certain Pentecostal divisions, and I know this not only from research but from some family, they take this Bible verse about if you're truly faithful and pure in the Lord, you can pick up a serpent and not be harmed. They take it literally. And during the middle of the prayer service, they will hold up rattlesnakes out of boxes. And if they don't get bit, it's proof they haven't sinned that week. People die from this every year.
Wow.
Okay? It still goes on. It is officially illegal under state law. It doesn't stop anybody. And because it's religious, and this is a highly religious area of the town, a lot of local sheriffs and even a lot of the federal government will look the other way.
My attitude is, if you want to play with a poisonous snake, well, Darwinism in action.
All right? So be prepared. The area you're going to, in addition to all these things I just mentioned it's famous for, it's highly religious in the Pentecostal fire and brimstone type religion.
Oh, fucking great.
Jesus.
All right?
That means potentially dangerous.
Yes, it does. I mean, I have ancestry here. I can tell you it does mean potentially dangerous. Brief tangent. When my father was first preaching, he actually was preaching on some of these mountain towns. And there's one where a mountain town, because he was preaching something they didn't want to listen to, even though they were the same denomination, he was a pastor, tried to run him out of town with pitchforks and clubs. Yes.
People disappear up there,
Yes.
and it's not just because they got lost in the woods.
Last thing you know is that a lot of people up here are highly superstitious. There is still a tradition up here called hoodoo. Not voodoo, but hoodoo is the southern version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hoodoo is kind of on that borderline in folk belief. There's a lot of folk medicine that goes on to it. Sometimes you'll have people called root doctors. They'll use like an herbal remedy to try to cure something that's wrong with you. They use certain prayers and stuff while they do it. Powwow is a big thing up in the area, but you typically see powwow more on the Germanic side of people who moved into the area because it's more of a Germanic tradition. But the root doctor thing is something you see often. There's also a firm belief in the supernatural in this area.
Oh yeah, they still believe in werewolves and witches.
Werewolves,
and vampires.
goblins, vampires, the whole bit.
Yep, they still believe in all that stuff up there. I kid you not.
So this is the area you're going to, if you choose to take the assignment. And then Ryan looks at you all and goes, now, you've already stated here what the assignment is. If the danger was not impressed upon you beforehand, I hope it has been suitably demonstrated to you now. Do you still wish to accept this assignment?
Yeah, sure.
So we're gonna send a old black guy with funky looking eyes from Africa. A half black guy, half black girl, and a lesbian to Appalachia. With a rat's ass snowball chance in hell of them getting out alive.
I don't have anyone else to send.
At least he's got blonde hair and blue eyes.
Not for another week.
I accept the challenge, Sebastian.
Mr. Ryan. He says, remind you, he is in charge.
Oh, wait. Oh, this is. I thought we were talking to the editor. My bad.
No, the editor's Mr. Thomas.
Oh, then
You would still call him Mr. He's your boss.
I would have called him Mr. Ryan.
All right.
Okay, what the hell?
All right. So Ryan goes, here's an operating budget. He hands you a check for $10,000. We've already made arrangements when you fly into Louisville. And it's pronounced Louisville, not Louisville. When you fly into Louisville, you'll pick up a van there. You'll then actually have to actually drive the whole breadth of Kentucky to get to the place you're going.
Yeah, it's only a quarter of Kentucky.
All right.
A lot of twisty roads, though.
I wish we had a better thing, but there's no other airport nearby that we can land you at, and for other reasons, we can't land you in Tennessee and have you go north over the Tennessee border into the area.
Do I need to know those reasons?
He looks at Thomas. Thomas goes, we flew the first team in through Chattanooga. We suspect they were followed, and that we still may have them on these airports under surveillance by whoever might be responsible for their disappearance. We do suspect foul play.
Ouch.
Hence why we're going to fly you into Louisville.
Okay.
Okay. He hands you the operating budget. He hands you hotel reservations. There is actually a small hotel in the area despite the fact there's only a town of 3,000 people, there's a Best Western there.
What?
There's a 20-room Best Western there owned by a small family. They've booked reservations at you for. Yes, I kid you not.
The
Okay.
cable.
And I based Killingsborough off a town that actually does exist. It shocked me they actually had a Best Western, but they do actually have a Best Western affiliate.
It's because they're the Cumberland Gap, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Cumberland Gap's about 50 miles to the west.
This is something a lot of people understand about the Appalachians. They may be low, but they're incredibly steep and very, very rough. You can literally count south of Pennsylvania on one hand, with fingers to spare, the number of actual passes that go through those mountains that you can actually run a road or railroad through.
It's almost like God decided. Yeah,
Ooh, that's spooky.
he's right. There are very steep hills, and a friend of mine tells me how there's actually a rite of passage where if you go up there to get adopted by the Shillagi that live in the area, they will run their truck right by the edge of the road, see how long it takes you to scream. Going down the road at 60 miles an hour, also around these high mountain curves, is also not uncommon.
Yeah.
I've been up there. He's right. That happens.
During the Civil War, there was only two passes that you could actually get an army through: Chattanooga Pass into Georgia and the Cumberland Gap, which is what they're talking about there. That's
Right.
it.
So he goes, good luck, and your flight leaves at 6 p.m. this evening, so I'd hustle.
Okay.
All right, so I assume you all then take like a couple of minutes to call people that you were relying you to be available for the weekend to let them know you're not going to be around.
Okay.
Introduce yourselves all to one another. I'll start with my NPC. I am John Marco Villalobos, and I will be your technical advisor and equipment supervisor for the mission. He's your cameraman.
You're the cameraman.
Yes. Now, he looks hauntingly familiar to you. You don't know why. You need to roll an intelligence. You might recognize him.
I need to roll anything.
No, this would probably not be something you go. What's your intelligence, AB?
5.
So you're rolling on column 5.
Not a +2 for history.
No, it's not a historical thing.
Okay, I figured knowing my history would have known them.
Oh my God! You brought up the fact that Ruby Rose was playing in Batwoman on television there, which I thought was kind of cool because they actually cast a lesbian to play a lesbian, like the first time.
No, you're rolling a d20, dude.
But apparently the LGBT community chased her off Twitter because they didn't realize she was a lesbian. They thought it was a straight woman playing her.
What'd you roll?
18.
An 18 on column 5 comes up as a heroic success.
In your face about it.
You not only recognize him, you know things about the history. He is a world-famous soccer player. He was expected to be like the next Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's not a race car driver?
He's also a race car driver.
Oh.
His family's rich.
You'd be surprised at how many athletes cross track into race
John
car
Marco Villalobos. He's a
Especially in
Spaniard.
Europe.
He was born in Cordoba. He was born to a Spanish woman and an American father on a military base. All right. He's actually played for Real Madrid.
Holy shit.
He refuses to play for Barcelona. He's been offered to play for Barcelona twice. And in one match with Barcelona, after he left Real Madrid to go to...
Just kidding.
After he left Real Madrid to go to... I can't remember the other name of the other big Spanish team, but it was a different league in the Spanish team. One of the Barca players slide tackled him into his left knee, and his left knee actually bent backward and ruined his career.
You mean he actually took a fall for real?
Yes.
And this guy is the...
Yeah, he's your cameraman. In his off season, when he wasn't playing in La Liga, he'd race F1 race cars in Monaco.
Racing.
So I just recognize him because...
Yeah, suddenly you recognize who it is. You're like,
It could be
holy
funny.
shit!
I don't envision my
You're
guy-
from Africa. You'd follow
Right,
soccer.
I follow soccer.
Dude, you follow soccer like the average American follows football.
Yeah. Yeah, you're traveling with a European celebrity.
What's his name?
John Marco Villalobos.
And these guys don't know who he is.
They have no clue. They're Americans.
I would require my character
This girl's
to
from
actually care
Alabama.
about
You think
sports.
she follows soccer?
So he introduced himself just to the group in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm John Marco Villalobos. I will be your equipment specialist and driver.
If it's not the Crimson Tide, she doesn't care.
Kodo Montana. My friends call me Kodo.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Sane. It's serviceable. I mean, I won't be running any marathons, but I can walk. Introductions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the two guys here hugging and going, what the hell
Well,
is going on?
they put their shoulders together.
What
do you do?
the hell's going on? Remember, she doesn't do personal inter-touchy things.
Don't explain role play.
Anyways. Okay. The name's Rachel Janine Taylor. I'm your EMT for this little mission.
Good to know.
Ari Smythe, I'm here to look at your weird shit whenever it comes up. Nice to meet you guys.
So you're the researcher.
Yeah. Seen shit, done shit, it's all shit.
He turns to, Villa Boba turns to Mr. Thomas, goes, Senor Editor, forgive me for asking, but who's actually the senior agent in charge here? Thomas goes, that's an excellent question. All of you basically are very new to the company. I'm really not sure who'd be the best to be the actual lead. But it probably should be, and he points to you two, one of the two writers. Because you and I are basically tech support.
I'm looking at the old guy.
Yeah, she's looking at the old guy too. Like,
So you're not default in charge. You're not agent in charge. You got the lead. All right? So that's all.
See where gray hair gets you?
age,
Yeah.
age before beauty.
Age before beauty, dude.
Villa Boba goes, if you'll excuse me, I have a couple of affairs to get in order before we leave. I need to go. You confess on Friday, right?
You confess on every day.
Okay. I need to go see my priest real quick before we leave because I probably won't have the chance to do it while we're in this area of the country. And I will meet you at the airport at 4:30. Unless some lovely lady wishes to accompany me. And he looks at you with a smile, and even though your character's gay, she needs to make a willpower roll.
Oh,
Yes.
No.
He has an advantage. He's that smooth.
No.
Yeah.
He has a charisma of 5. He has a savoir-faire
If
skill
I gotta
of
make
8.
one, he's gotta make one.
I'm getting to that later.
No, I'm serious. Yeah, because believe me, I've talked to many lesbians, and they say that is the most.
I'm going to role play it differently, but you do need to roll it. What'd you get?
16.
You're kind of entertained that he thinks he has a shot and hasn't picked up that you don't hit for his team. But you do have to admit to yourself, yeah, if I were straight, I would totally go for this guy.
Yeah, I've talked to multiple lesbians over the last few weeks when I thought about this character, and yeah. One of the things.
Unless some lovely lady wishes to accompany me.
Yeah. No.
Why are you sweating?
Que sera, sera. And with that, he walks out to go to his priest. What do the rest of you do?
Well, I gotta go home and feed the cat and make sure the cat's gonna get fed.
Okay.
I'm gonna go home and do some research.
You had help to do research real quick?
Go home, pack what meager stuff she's got, and then I guess go to the airport and wait on everybody else.
Okay, research test. What are you researching?
Well, for starters, all the information that we were given. Secondly,
Okay, you can assume that the information you've been given is correct because it came from the news source itself.
okay,
You can assume that's correct. When you say research, you're like looking for more in-depth information about
just
it.
what I can extrapolate from it.
And how are you going about doing this research?
Well,
Because depending on how you go about it, will take different amounts of time. Like internet takes an hour, library takes 4.
first
Trying to track down other agents who've actually been there might take 2 or 3. It depends on what. How
okay.
you're going about it.
Well, I was basically going to take first of all everything, all the information that he gave me at face value and just look at it. After that, I was going to research the area that we were going to, the geography, the terrain.
So how are you doing that? Are you
Probably
like
on the internet? I would
internet?
imagine.
Okay. Go ahead and
Google
give me a
Maps.
research roll. Do you have the research skill? I believe you do, Mr. Occult Investigator.
Should.
Yes, I do.
So you roll your research skill. Do you have your total AV on there? Skill plus your intelligence, I believe it is.
I have Intel's 5 plus
Mm-hmm.
1 research.
So you're rolling on column 6.
5 plus 1, 6.
Mm-hmm. I've also got my chart in front of me. You just want to roll.
The D20?
D20. Now, don't you also roll a DC though? Because research is one of your roll skills.
I don't really know. I don't know how
You mean like skills attached to the character?
No. The skills that you get the extra D6 bonus for. What are they for the Occult Investigator?
Um,
They're always, every roll has 3 skills they roll a bonus D6 for. I think research is one of the ones for the Occult Investigator.
actually don't have the thing up because it crashed, so
Of course.
I'll get it up.
Not a problem. So let's assume that it is for right now so you see how this works. Roll a d20 and a d6.
All right.
Add them together.
18 plus 6.
24.
24. Wow.
Damn. You have a legendary success. That's 3 DOSes above the target.
Ooh.
With that amount, you realize, yeah, the information given is correct. The area has a pretty steep elevation. It is almost 1,000 feet above sea level. The Daniel Boone National Forest this area is in is also famous for like meth, moonshining, the occasional missing
time.
car. Crime in the area tends to be mostly assaults and drunken disorderlies, but from time to time you do get a murder or a rape. The biggest crime that's happened in the area was a drug seizure of almost $40,000 worth of methamphetamine that was seized on somebody's farm.
Occasionally you have fires and houses blow up. Goes to
Animal attacks are pretty common because the black bears up there have right into hunters that hit the road. What specifically were you looking to research else otherwise though? Like,
Well, specifically...
with the legendary says there's a lot of stuff you to discover.
Right. I would probably focus on the people that he named.
Okay. You find birth certificates for one of the infants who was actually born in town. That was the Ezekiel boy.
Okay, so the occult investigator gets a +1 d6 when they are using occult, sorcery, and ritual skills.
Okay, good to know. We'll do it for the next time.
I'm going to write that down.
You also discovered that the Grant family has a missing child. They're not originally from the town. Apparently, Grant works for the U.S. Post Office. The post office in the town has actually been shut down because there's so few people that they just don't see a point of maintaining a post office there anymore. But he's still there. Since you have a legendary, I'm going to go ahead and give you this. You do a little bit of research into what's going on, find out he's not currently an active employee of the post office. He's been let go. So he's probably stuck there.
This is Grant, father of the kid that
Yeah.
disappeared. But he decided to stay in town.
He might not be able to leave. He didn't have enough money.
All right.
I mean, he does work for the post office in Podunk, Kellingsboro. You'd find there's a affectionate name for Kellingsboro. People tend to call it Snakebite because there is a church, St. Luke's, that actively snake handles in the town. You actually find a National Geographic special about the town back in the 1930s, 1950s when they sent a crew there.
So the name of the town is Snakebite.
Colloquially, the actual given name of the town is Kellingsboro.
Kellingsboro, okay. AKA Snakebite.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the town we're going to be doing most of our... Well, okay. I mean, you'd have to... I would tell you, there could be so many things you can say you're going to research. I would
You
say
also discover
There
with the
you go.
legendary that nearby there is a government site that is not listed as being like a park service or anything like that. It's actually part of the CDC. And you come across a news article of some investigative journalists asking someone why it's there and not being able to get a straight answer. But in the picture, you recognize a NASA employee, like one of their famous rocket doctors, in the photo. So apparently there's some government facility nearby that has the CDC and NASA.
How old's the photo?
That's back in the 60s.
Was Von Braun there?
No
I
one
know
that
he wasn't
famous.
there historically, but...
No one that famous, but
Okay.
you do recognize the person. You're like, hey, wait a minute, that's...
Do I actually recognize the individual's nationality and who he is?
That's the general map of Snakebite and the area surrounding it.
I do hope you're going to share all this with the rest of us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm ignoring it because I don't want this to creep into player knowledge.
I was actually going to tell the game master that I share this with everybody.
And with the legendary, I'm assuming you spent some time looking at some of Shannon Keir's videos. She is a very busty, vivacious teenager who apparently was an aspiring journalist. All of her vlogs are like mock attempts at documentaries, and she faces the camera pretty seriously. At one of them, you actually see her boyfriend walk through the back shot. She shoves him out of the shot. Okay.
Me, I'm not there.
You pack your things.
I email everything to you
Would-
guys.
Would she be able to like maybe
Actually got the
review
name
the
right.
information they have and whatnot and see if there might be anything that she could identify immediately that
That's
might
a
be,
research roll.
like weird?
Yep. Give me a research roll.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a research. We're gonna call on A, right? Because it's A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't get anything.
Okay. Give me also your occult.
Damn it, missed the spot on my head.
Ooh. Oh, I roll a d6 with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Hello? Hey, what's going on, woman?
I got a legendary success.
Do you want to go ahead and take that phone call
Mhm.
outside real quick?
Yeah, so the scrolls are back.
Okay. So, with a legendary success in your cult, you realize that as small as this town is, as you're paging through like information and media files and stuff, there's a yoga studio that opened up in this town. And the yoga studio has a really weird symbol on it that immediately screams occult to you. This.
Not the wish a yoga studio in a mountain Appalachian town that's shrinking.
Alright. You page through her page for a little bit, and the woman that runs the studio looks like she might originally be from India. She's got kind of the Dravidian look to her. You're looking at the symbol, and with your occult, you realize that this looks kind of like a Hebrew shin, which is a letter of the Hebrew alphabet that supposedly has mystical qualities. Specifically, it's the first letter of the word Shaddai, which means to protect. This tail here, though, you have no idea what that means, and it strikes you as you're looking at this glyph that it might be a combination glyph that's trying to combine two different occult ideas. Since it's a yoga studio with a legendary, you go looking for into Sanskrit and discover this little swirl at the bottom in Sanskrit literally is something you associate with serpents. Literally.
So protection from snakes, huh?
Maybe.
So what does the Hebrew part represent?
Shin means Shaddai, to protect. It also represents the, Christian Kabbalists would say it also represents the triune nature of the soul, body, mind, spirit.
Either way, protection from snakes. One way is not.
Okay.
She has like 10, maybe 12 students.
That's enough to keep her fed
Okay.
or pay the rent.
And it's, I didn't really actually give the yoga studio a name because I didn't feel like the name of it was that important, but right now it's listed as Snakebite Yoga Studio. Officially, the Kellingsboro Yoga Studio, or Kellingsboro Yoga Club. And it's a very simple webpage. It's like, a kind of webpage someone would make like on Blogspot.
Okay.
Okay. Wait for her to get back. All right, so we're back in session. So you go through your research, you've done your thing, you get your packing. You were doing what?
Basically getting my EMT bag put together and making sure my cat's going to be taken care of.
I need everybody to make a perception plus awareness roll.
Okay, how do we do that again?
You add your perception and your awareness together. This game system is very simple. You add your stat and your attribute together. That's the AV you're rolling on. If I assign a negative RV to it, you then subtract that from the column you're rolling on to become a new column.
Okay, so I'm asking is how many die?
You roll 1d20.
Okay.
Always. Unless you have a bonus skill in which you roll a d20 and a d6.
Yeah, no. I got nothing. I'm
What
blind
you got?
as a bat.
18.
18 on which column?
18.
Perception and awareness.
I see perception.
So you have perception. Your perception is?
3.
All right, so it starts column 3. And do you have the awareness skill?
Negative.
All right, so we're going column 3. 18 on column 3 shows a heroic success. And Matthew, you had an 18 on which column?
Well, you said on perception?
Perception and awareness.
Okay. Perception is a 6.
Okay.
No, it's easier.
And do you have the awareness skill?
No, you didn't give it to me.
All right,
I
not a
think I should
problem.
have it.
So Matthew actually has a dramatic.
I think I should have that as an EMT.
All right. So
And as a soldier.
as you are going along, Mr. Colo, you sense that you are being followed by this person. He's with you everywhere you walk. He's tailing you fairly well. And you can't really...
What are you chewing on? Oh, okay.
You can't really get a read on him, what his intentions are. But he follows you all across town.
So I'm leading. Well, at what point do I start leading him? No, do I? At what point?
That's
do I
up
know
to
he's
you. I'm
following
telling you,
me?
it's like as you leave your home...
Okay.
Well, actually, where are you doing research? From the paper?
Yeah.
Okay, as you leave the paper, you're probably walking for about 15 minutes when you realize you're being followed.
Okay.
And he's hanging back about 30 feet. Matthew, you're being followed by this person. It's a girl with a little ponytail. She looks very chic. She's constantly on her cell phone. But not only does something about it feel wrong, but occasionally you notice that she's taking pictures of the phone at you. Not in your general direction, at you. So she is definitely following you.
I walk to the nearest bar.
Neither one of them seems aware that you've noticed them.
Ah, okay, that's good. I
I
walk
am
to.
oblivious.
I look for the nearest bar
Okay?
and walk into it and sit down at the bar.
So you walk into a bar.
I first look at the bar itself to see if there's empty seats. If there is, I sit.
Oh, sure.
I sit next to one with an empty
It's
seat.
mid-afternoon on a Friday. There's going to be an empty seat somewhere.
Okay, I go in there and sit.
Okay. So you walk in, and the bartender behind the bar, a Italian is like, "What can I get for you?"
Vodka and tonic, please, and a glass of water.
Vodka tonic and water. We got it. You're not from here, eh?
No, my friend.
Where are you from?
From a faraway place.
I bet I'm from farther away. I'm from Milano.
I'm from a small African village. Not too terribly far from you compared
He
to
pulls
here.
out his cell phone. Where is it? If I am further away, you owe me... you owe me your story. But if you're further away, you drink on for free today.
Okay. And by the way, while I'm indulging this man...
Keep an eye on the guy. Assumed
Yes.
as much. All right.
See if I can-
So we're going to need 2 rolls here. You're going to roll 2 different d20s.
Okay.
One d20 is for a savoir-faire. Roll with him to charm him. The other one is an awareness roll to keep your eyes on the stranger.
Got it. 18.
Which one is that for?
The first one.
The savoir-faire roll. Okay.
Okay.
What's your charisma?
Charisma. 3.
I assume you don't have savoir-faire.
No.
Well, you still have a heroic success. The guy's very pleased and charmed by you. You've actually got a friend out of it. You scored some friend points with this bartender.
Nice.
All right.
Now the second one is the awareness of this
roll.
dude, which ironically is the one that I'm
Now
more
this one's going to be
focused
harder
on.
because now you're in a middle of a bar. It's easier for him to hide his intentions, or if he's even there, because of the crowd coming into and out of the bar, plus the somewhat dark conditions of the bar.
Okay.
So you're going to take in a -1 RV. RV stands for resistance value. We subtract it from the acting value to determine what column you're going to roll on.
Okay.
You don't have the awareness skill, so you're rolling your straight perception, which was 3.
Yep.
The -1 RV, you're now rolling in column 2 rather than column 3. Roll your d20 for me. Again, this is why this is here, so you don't have to constantly drop the die. You can roll it in there.
Okay. 15.
15. On column 2, 15 is a success. Sure enough, your tail is still with you. He's sitting down at the bar. He's actually changed hats. He's now wearing a different color hat. This is a pro.
Okay.
Okay? And he still hasn't realized that you're watching him, that you're aware you're being tailed. Yeah, he's watching you. Every once in a while you see him do this to his wrist, like he's yawning. Give me a, do you have any streetwise?
I
Dude,
don't.
you didn't give us any of these skills.
That's fine. You only have certain skills. Everyone's got to roll to start, Bill.
I know.
He doesn't have streetwise. It's still a straight intelligence check to try to deduce what he's doing.
No streetwise.
Not a problem.
None of us are
Boy,
playing
straight
any
intelligence.
character that would have that.
That's fine.
18.
18, that's another success. He's talking to a microphone, like a security guard would use, their earpiece and their wrist mic. He's talking to a wrist mic.
Let me know when I'm supposed to take any kind of an action.
Well, that was your action.
Okay.
The bartender's like, "Oh, look at that. You're actually farther away than I am. You drink for free today, my friend. Eh? And just so you know, at this bar, I don't care what other wops say, we got no problem with the blackies.
What is your name again, friend?
I am a Luigi. No, seriously. I really am a Luigi. I don't have the green hat and everything. Luigi Marcone.
You may call me Kojo.
Koyo, good to meet you, mano.
You are number 10.
10?
It's a joke. 10th contact.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you sit there for a little bit.
I wanted to interact.
Chit chat.
Yeah. Well, not really. I wanted to get down to business with this.
This guy. What do you want to do to
The
him?
amateur spot. I wanted to walk by him, go into the bathroom. As I'm walking back, I wanted to do this. Was it my cologne, man?
In case you want to ambush him.
No, I am. Yeah, verbally. I'm gonna keep walking though. I'm
Okay.
not gonna sit there and wait for a response.
So you walk by, and then you're going to talk to him. Are you trying to intimidate him? Are you trying to charm him? What are you trying to do here?
More of a charm than anything else. I want to let him know in a nice
Okay,
way.
so the reason I ask is that determines what skill we're rolling. That would be a savoir-faire.
Okay.
That would be a charisma. So you walk up to him, and as you're walking up,
You got your bacon, baby.
he does not sense your approach.
Okay.
He doesn't sense your intention. He's still sitting like this. And you walk up to him, and then you say,
Is it my cologne, man?
he realizes he's caught. Roll initiative. D6.
Okay.
And add your initiative bonus. He has a 6. Ooh. You get a quick punch in the throat.
Oh Jesus! I'm an old man.
Yeah, no, he just assaulted an old man publicly at a
Wow.
bar.
Oh! Oh! With a heroic success, you get punched in the throat.
Where's Bert when I need him?
You take 10 health points of damage from the bashing attack.
Jesus.
I want to have you on a heroic. We'll see, that would be a brawl. Let me check the brawl subtable real quick. I believe that might actually be a stagger. Yep, it is. It's a stagger. I need you to roll your con.
Okay.
Pull the stagger chart real quick.
This guy just assaulted
Wow.
an old man with white hair in a bar full of Italians. Yeah, this guy's not getting
Yeah,
out.
that's
He's about to have a very
Luigi's
bad
probably
day.
not going to be too happy about this. 20.
You rolled a 20?
Yep.
Roll a d6 again. Add to it. On a 19 and 20, you roll a d6 and add.
Yeah.
4.
You have a 24 on which column? Which con?
How does this column thing work?
These are the columns,
Yeah.
right? What is your constitution?
Oh, I see. 3.
So you're rolling column 3. A 22 on column 3 is a dramatic success.
And what did I get? A 24.
Would be
Now you get a
so
22
dramatic.
altogether. Oh, sorry, you're 24. It'll still be a dramatic.
Yeah.
That's dramatic. Dramatic on a stagger is you are only staggered for 1 turn and act at -1 AV. Now, when you're staggered, you may not attack. In other acts, you take up a slight negative modifier. So you kind of go, you just get punched in the throat, right? You can't attack him, which means you can't try to grab him, you can't try to stop him, but you can take some other action, like make a skill check to try to like observe him, maybe try making him wait. All up to you at this point.
Call for help. Get the whole bar of Italian good old boys on
That's
top of this guy's ass.
So, in combat, you have 3 actions. Now, this is a surprise round, so I'm going to give you 1. You normally would have 3. If you call out for help, that's your action, and you should make a speech roll to try to get the group to help you. That's up to you. Or you can, like, backpedal and try to defend yourself, because right now you're still standing there.
Is he coming at me? Like, did he punch
You don't
me
know.
because I
He punched
startled
you
him?
right. He punched you right in the throat. You don't know what else he's about to do.
Ooh.
He has the initiative.
Right. I'm trying to think this out, because if he punched me because I startled him, or if he punched me just on general principles because I'm onto him. Like if I had stayed about 5 feet away and went, was it the cologne? If he still would have came at me, then that means he wants to do
Right.
me harm.
But right now you don't have any other intention.
I don't
He's
know.
just punched you in the throat.
He might have just had a quick reaction.
Yeah, the thing is, you can't overthink it, man.
Yeah. Well, I would do this because my man is 60 years old. I'm gonna probably try to call for help without sounding like a wolf.
All right, so give me a speech roll. Try to impress the bar to help you.
Okay.
This is your charisma and the speech skill.
All right,
Your charisma is a
3.
3, so column 3. Roll a d20 for me. I don't think you actually have speech skill on that character.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we have almost nothing relevant for this.
That's because the way the engine is designed, you can do a lot of things without the skill. The skill
Yeah.
represents a specialization. That's
He
fine.
We're still feeling it out too. So.
Yeah, I think as I said, awareness. I think would be a field surgeon wouldn't have awareness, but an
10
EMT would because a field medic is.
I'm
out
sorry,
in a
that's a
combat
failure.
situation.
God, it's kind of odd after
All right.
Luigi's.
We got to remember you're also acting -1 because you were staggered,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you were coughing out. Role play out the speech roll.
Like what I would say. Could I
Yeah.
talk?
Yeah.
What is your problem, man?
After the punch in the throat, realizing you're still there, he does a combination of, as he stands up, he puts his hands here to brace himself, and he pushes you away with his foot to get room. You're standing right in front of him.
He's definitely aggressive.
All right? You take no damage, but he does put you back like 3 or 4 feet, which gives him the room then to run out of the bar.
Okay.
Now we have a new round. Roll your initiative. Everyone in the bar at this point is like, what the hell? What the gun?
It's all happening so
Yeah,
fast.
his initiative is a 7.
I got a 3.
Okay, so he spends 3 actions. He beats me. He does nothing but run this turn. He'll take a full concentrate action, try to get another move action in, which he succeeds at. He makes 120 feet exit. He's like through the crowd, pushing people out of the way, booking feet down the street. Do you wish to try to follow him?
If I think that I am within range to get a decent picture of him, even though I probably already remember him.
Not 120 feet away, and his back to
He's
you,
already that far away.
plus the crowd.
Now, there's nothing to.
Okay,
really
so he
do.
escapes.
Yeah.
All right, he beats feet through the crowd. He's gone, and you're left there punching.
Yeah, man.
Damn. Now the good news is it's all bashing damage. It'll disappear at the rate of 1 a minute.
Okay.
Okay, because it's not a lethal wound. But yeah, that's gonna leave a mark. You're gonna have a nice big bruise there on your neck where he
man.
clocked you.
Fortunately, they'll put ice on it because in a bar and you're an old man. They want help.
So no one didn't help.
Luigi comes around the corner with a baseball bat, walks out his front door, and stay away, cabron! Comes back in. Are you okay? You mean calling an ambulance for you?
No. I gotta role play this out.
No,
Yeah, but-
Luigi, I'm okay, man. Just finished my drink.
At your age, are you sure, man? I mean,
It feels okay. Thank you, friend.
you've gone up like points in Luigi's esteem.
He's
He's
like,
like,
deal with Italians.
yeah. All right. Your scene. Let me
Okay,
pause
we
and
got
get to the next girl.